Good morning and welcome to our meditation for our Satsang here in Bangalore. We will begin with a chant. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. I will find fault with my diving. I will find fault with my diving. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. I will find fault with my diving. I will find fault with my diving. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. For thy pearls of light from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. If I find not, I will not blame the sea. I will find fault with my diving. I will find fault with my diving. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. Today my mind has dived deep in thee. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. For thy pearls of love from thy depth receive. Now let's inhale, tense, and vibrate our bodies. Throw the breath out. And again, tense and vibrate. Throw the breath out. And one last time. Tense and vibrate. Throw the breath out. Now let's go deep right away. Offering the love of the heart up to the point between the eyebrows, calling to God with all of our concentration, all of our devotion. Call to him at the point between the eyebrows and feel his response in our hearts. We'll meditate until 10 o'clock. Good morning to everyone, and welcome to our Ananda Sunday Satsang here in Bangalore. So let's begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, beloved Swamiji, we bow to you again and again. Divine Mother, bless this satsang. We want to feel your presence throughout the day, every day, and to share your blessings with souls everywhere. Bathe this very needy world in your light, especially your joy, your unconditional divine love. Come to us, awaken us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Begin with our fire ceremony. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha. Om Tatsavitu Varniyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Yo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam. Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam. Vrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam. Urvarukam Iva Bandhanam. Vrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam. Urvarukam Eva Bandhanam. Vrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyamamritat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyamamritat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyamamritat Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyamamritat Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Now we'll have our chanting and meditation.
Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Paramanse Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Who is in my temple? Who is in my temple? All the doors do open and shine. All the lights and shine. It's been a long time. I've had to go to plan B with the chant. Please forgive me. Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my Madhurya? Who tells me thou art Aarti, my I am the God who make me the sea. Lord, I am the God who make me the sea. Make me the sea. Make me the sea. Oh, make me the sea. Wave of the sea is out in the sea.
Now let's meditate. Inhale and tense the body. Vibrate, relax, and throw the breath out. Twice more. Completely relax the body, still the mind, calm the heart. Be here in this present moment with Divine Mother. This is the season to worship Divine Mother. Worship her this morning with all of your heart and soul, with all of your love. Offer yourself into her arms of love. Ask her to bless you, protect you, keep you safe from all delusion. Feel her compassion filling your heart, her unconditional love, filling every cell of your being, every point of your consciousness. Visualize her beautiful, kind, radiant face at the spiritual eye, and offer yourself to her, body, mind, and soul. Just in this moment, in a short meditation, give yourself to Divine Mother wholeheartedly. And from the depths of your soul and the yearning of your heart, call to her there at the spiritual eye. Reveal yourself to me in this meditation as unconditional love, as radiant bliss, as deep compassion and kindness. Feel her filling every cell, every thought, every feeling with her love. And open yourself.
Now we'll have our reading from Affirmations for Self-Healing by Swami Kriyananda. Today it's on high-mindedness. People often speak of cynicism as a mark of realism. In fact, in a universe without any visible center, one might justifiably develop his understanding of it from any conceivable starting point. One's understanding, however, will only reflect who and what he himself is. A view from the depths lacks a perspective that can be achieved from the heights. From the mountaintop, all things are seen in their true proportion. Strive always to be a channel for high thoughts and inspirations. Never cooperate with anything petty or mean. Remember, the universe is, for each human being, both a mirror and an affirmation. One who entertains high thoughts will be himself ennobled. And let's excuse me. Let's affirm together. I will see goodness in everything. I will view the world around me, not from the depths of matter attachment, but from the heights of divine aspiration. I will see goodness in everything. I will view the world around me, not from depths of matter attachment, but from the heights of divine aspiration. And a little quieter, I will see goodness in everything. I will view the world around me, not from the depths of matter attachment, but from the heights of divine aspiration. And whispering, I will see goodness in everything. I will view the world around me, not from the depths of matter attachment, but from the heights of divine aspiration. And silently, I will see goodness in everything. I will view the world around me, not from the depths of matter attachment, but from the heights of divine aspiration. Lord, the universe was made in thy image of perfection. Help me to bring out that image in others by blessing them in thy love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday Satsang here in Bangalore. This is a reading from Whispers from Eternity. I vow never again to turn my gaze from thee. I take this sacred vow. Never will I lower my love's gaze below the eyebrow horizon of my constant thoughts of thee. Never will I turn my uplifted inner sight away from thee. Never will I let my mind dwell on anything that reminds me not of thee. I will disdain the nightmare of ignorant behavior. I will court all dreams of noble achievement, those of love, kindness, and understanding, for they are thy dreams. Though I dream many dreams, wakefully I will ever think of thee. In the sacred fire of constant remembrance, kept ever alight on my soul's altar, I will ever behold thy presence with the watchful eyes of devotional love. Thy grace has shown me that the dualities of health and sickness, life and death, joy and sorrow are but passing fantasies. I am finished with those eternally self-canceling delusions. I am persuaded at last that there is but one abiding reality, thy eternal, ever conscious, ever new, ever thrilling, infinite bliss. And this morning, we are going to hear from, we're going to see a video of Swami Kriyananda actually talking about this very same thing that Haridas just talked about, being high-minded and keeping your consciousness high, and this beautiful whispers reading of never turning our gaze away from our Divine Mother. And the video he did this video at the very last part of his life. And he was older then, and he talked of Divine Mother, and he talked of God and how to stay in her presence in this video. And so this morning, let's listen to his words, but even more importantly, let's feel the consciousness behind those words. Feel the love coming from Swami. It's not a personal love. It's Divine Mother flowing through him. And even at the very end of his life, he wanted to share with us that love. That was his only reason for living. And at that point in his life, he knew he was leaving soon. It was very soon after that. He had already finished writing the essence of the Bhagavad Gita and done so much. He knew that he was leaving. And so in the later videos that he shared with us, truly what was pouring out of him was Divine Mother, because he worshiped Divine Mother, just as our master did. So I'd like to watch this video now of Swamiji, and it's a 17-minute long video, and then we'll come back and I'll say some more words. Okay. Okay, Jagdish.
48 of chapter 2. O Dhananjaya, Arjuna, immerse yourself in the thought of yoga, union with God. Inwardly non-attached and even-minded, in both success and failure. Perfect evenness of mind and feeling is itself the definition of yoga. This is one of the most important slokas or stanzas in the Bhagavad Gita. Patanjali said that the definition of yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the neutralization of the vortices, not waves. Waves don't have that kind of magnetism. A vortex is a whirlpool that draws everything into a center. And these waves of chitta, of feeling, this is the problem with Maya and with ego. You have these waves of feeling that draw you in, draw them into yourself. I want that ice cream cone. So you keep having that thought, drawing it to you. Sooner or later, you will get that ice cream cone, and it might free you. And many people think that the way to freedom is just to satisfy their desires, and finally they'll get rid of them. The trouble is that each desire satisfied creates more desires, and it can go on endlessly. So what we need to do is not only get rid of these little vrittis or vortices of desire and attachment, but above all the vortex of ego itself, which is the great whirlpool, drawing all desires into that whirlpool. We must get rid of this sense of ego. And how can we do it? By even-mindedness. My guru used to say, be even-minded and cheerful. In other words, not even-minded and apathetic, even-minded and cheerful. Just feel that God is behind everything and enjoy His presence in everything. So, immerse yourself in the thought of yoga. And this means to practice the presence of God all the time. Immerse yourself in the thought that He is mine and I am His. The practice of japa is very important. Just as I've said before, chant one of the classical mantras like Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. A melody instead of only words. Melody touches the heart more. And if you're singing a melody, it helps to really lift your mind. Maha Mantra is very good too. And all those mantras are wonderful. It helps also to sing spiritual songs. I've written many, and I would suggest that you try to learn some of them because they give more variety and keeps the mind more involved that way. But they are absolutely a wonderful way of lifting the mind. The practice of writing music just came to me as a divine gift. I just, suddenly it occurred to me that it might be a way to share with people. And I asked God, and all of a sudden a melody was there. And again, I've written over 400 pieces of music, instrumental, vocal, all sorts of things. But all because that feeling that you get from these songs is something that brings you into the thought of God more completely. Music of all the arts is the most immediate, much more important, I think, than painting. And so he says, immerse yourself in the thought of God. Feel yourself completely just as if drowning in the thought of God. Everything you do, there's certain things that different saints have said that are well worth listening to. Like, and I've quoted some of them before, like St. John of the Cross in Spain, who said that one act of divine love is worth more than all the spiritual service that is rendered by monks and nuns and religious people. Just to love God is the whole thing. And it's the only thing. Who was it? So some other saint, I forget his name right now, but he said just to love God, that's the only thing worth doing. And Saint Jean Vianney in France said, if you only knew how much God loves you, you would die for joy. This thought of God's love, develop that feeling in your heart. Don't think of God just as an abstraction. Don't be immersed in Him in the thought of His philosophy and philosophical truths and so on. This is why it says a few stanzas before this that when you really know the Vedas when you really know God, it's worth more than all the Vedas. It's like not, well, how did he put it? That it's no more use than a well when the land is all flooded with water. So the thought of God and the thought of God's love, practice it daily. Set time aside every day to think of him in that way. When you go to bed at night, say to God, always pray to God, don't go to sleep until you feel his presence. And then say to him, I don't want this. Build a bonfire, as I've suggested before, and throw into that bonfire all attachments, all desires, all likes and dislikes. Just say, I'm free of all of that. The mind is burdened with these things. It's like carrying a heavy sack on your shoulders. I've often thought of the ego with all its self-definitions. I'm a Frenchman, I'm Italian, I'm Indian, I'm an American, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm old, I'm young, I'm rich, I'm poor, I like books, I don't like to read. All the self-definitions that people not only develop but are proud of. You have to shed all of those. You're none of those. When you've gotten rid of the thought that this is you and that is you and the other thing is you, when you understand that you're just a part of him and he is your reality. I've used the illustration of the moon in pots of water reflected there. It looks like many moons, but it's all one moon reflected in those many pots. And so that one divine consciousness is reflected in you and in me and in other people, but it's all that one consciousness. We have to get rid of that thought that we are separate from him. We have to know that that one consciousness is our reality. And how can we do it? First of all, by becoming calm. A pot of water under the moon, there may be wind on that pot, and therefore the water is all disturbed and you can't see that reflection. And so it is that when your pot of water, your little mind and ego, are disturbed by anything, you won't be able to get the truth behind it. Anything that you observe, don't be emotionally involved in it. This is the real meaning behind science's discovery that you should eliminate feeling. But they're wrong because it's not feeling. They're talking about the upsets of emotion and so on. And there are plenty of scientists who are absolutely bigoted. In fact, I've pretty well given up on science because it's always changing its mind. Every 10 years or so, some major belief in science is completely overthrown. The only teaching that never changes is the spiritual truth. That's why when Christian missionaries came to India, they thought that Krishna must have lived after Jesus because he said the same things. Truth is always the same. And the other beautiful thing is that even though it's the same, it's always new, it's always different. In some way, I've mentioned this too before, and it's well worth speaking of. I had this feeling that Westerners are trained in Aristotelian logic. A thing is either this or that, it can't be both. And I was very puzzled for a while how anybody could think and how my guru could think that a truth can have many different explanations. But when I came to India and began talking to people, I began to realize that this way of thinking is actually a great deal more sophisticated. That any truth will have many different ramifications. As I said, a man can be a father, a wife, a husband, a father, a son, a brother, all sorts of things. So every truth must be understood that way, and it can only be understood by the heart. Science will never get the truth in its way. When you have a lake of ice, you can't break through the ice at all points. You have to go to one point and drill there. You have to go to your own ego and drill there. When you get behind this ego and its motivations, then you know what the truth is. So becoming even-minded and cheerful is one way of penetrating through that block of ice that is the ego, at that one point where you can do it, the ego itself. And when you break through that, by not allowing your mind to get upset and ruffled and desireful and so on, when your mind is even-minded and cheerful, then you can penetrate down through its movements to the hidden depths, which is God's presence. So Krishna is saying here that we must learn to become immersed in yoga. That means don't think about yourself, don't think about anything, just think about your oneness with God. And everything you do when you're eating, that's why it's a good thing to say a prayer before eating. Heavenly Father, my Guru had this prayer, receive this food, make it holy. Let no impurity of greed defile it. The food comes from thee. It is to build thy temple, spiritualize it. Spirit to spirit goes. We are the petals of thy manifestation, but thou art the flower. Its life, beauty, and loveliness permeate our souls with the fragrance of thy presence. And in the Gita it also says that food comes from God, food goes back to God. And to eat food with personal enjoyment is sin. You must understand that everything is God. So the more you think that way, so that when you're at work, think that you're doing this work for God. When you're with your family, think these are God's children, not my children. When you see your neighbors, don't think they, think we. We're all a part of the same thing. It's a wonderful thing to walk in the streets and look at people's faces and see in them that every one of them is seeking that same bliss. They may be seeking it in different ways. They are seeking it in different ways. In fact, that is one of the wonderful things about this whole scene, this whole mad show, that everybody has his own approach to bliss. Bliss is infinite, infinitely varied. It's just incredible that every being in this world will find bliss in a different way. And that's why it's also good not to criticize anybody, because everybody will find it in his way, and it will be right for him. But when you see these people all so varied, and yet all seeking the same thing, how can you help loving everybody? You can't. Because they're all looking for what you're looking for, and even the worst criminal, he doesn't know that that's what he's looking for, but that is what he is looking for. When you look at faces in the streets like that, you see all that variety and realize they're all looking for that bliss, and that they're really, in that sense, your own brothers and sisters. You begin to feel that everybody is your own. This is a lovely experience. And you can find that going through the streets of a crowded city, you can feel so much bliss in this simple thought. Look for reasons to be blissful. That is one. The different things that people do that they hope to find fulfillment in doing. Don't speak critically of them. Just realize that's his way of finding bliss. I tried to find bliss in this life by wanting to help other people. I had reached that point where that's what I wanted to do. But those who think only of helping themselves, they too are looking for that. They just aren't finding it in the right way yet, but they will. Everything, finally, this whole show has no other meaning than a variety show of bliss. It's a movie. My guru one time told about seeing a beautiful spiritual movie called The Song of Bernadette. Bernadette was the Saint Bernadette of Lourdes, where many healings and so on, miraculous cures have taken place. But some of the experiences she went through in her life were very reminiscent of things that my guru had been through also. And he was feeling sympathetic sorrow for her. And then he looked up and he saw the telephone, the projection booth, and the light behind that film, the film that was running through the camera or whatever the projector, was just a plain white light. And so he thought that's how God is. He just projects through this film of temporary experience, but it's all his light. And this whole world is nothing but shadows and light. There is no reality to it. It will help you very much to think to yourself, this is all just shadows. It isn't real, it doesn't exist. It will help you very much in your life to understand that even if things seem real for a while, they'll leave you in time. You will leave them, what does it matter? Don't be immersed in them. And when you are eating, feel that God is eating through you. When you are talking, feel that you are talking to God and God is talking through you. Feel that everything you do, try to immerse yourself in the thought of him. And everything you see, try to let it be a reminder of him. Actually, it's a wonderful experience to do this. Life becomes so rich when you do. And you will find that bit by bit, this divine presence within you is something that is all yours. It's living with my guru was a wonderful thing because he kept bringing us back to that thought of God. One time he was talking about politics. He was a king himself in other lives, and it was a natural thing for him to think about. Then he paused a moment, he said, from God to politics. That's his drama. So we have to keep pulling it back from that drama and putting our minds back on the infinite. But how wonderful it was to be with him. I would walk with him in the desert, and sometimes I'd have to hold him because he almost fell down. And he would say, it's so difficult for me to remember which body I'm supposed to be moving. I'm in all bodies. And so it was that living with him helped me to understand that that one God is the only reality I'm seeking, the only reality there is. Immerse yourself in that. Inwardly be non-attached and even-minded to both success and failure, so that whatever happens in your life, let it be. You will find that if you have that attitude, you will succeed much better than if you don't care. Be non-attached, but care. Care to do it right for God. Joy to you.
It's such a beautiful way to spend a Sunday morning with Swamiji. And we are so blessed to have all of these videos and all of his talks and his books and his songs. We are so encouraged by his deep caring for each one of us, that we do find Divine Mother within our own hearts. And that was his goal in life. He said in the talk that he found his bliss by helping other people. And so that's been our example, and his example is a wonderful thing and a wonderful gift to have in this lifetime, when there are so few examples of people living in this consciousness of divine love. And so for each one of us, it's not enough just to sit and listen on Sunday and watch the video and then go right back to our way of being with our old habits. We must make an effort every day to experience God within our own hearts. This is the goal of life. Bliss is the goal of life. And it's interesting because we think we can't share bliss unless we feel bliss. But bliss comes in the sharing. Bliss comes in the giving. Bliss comes as you become an empty vessel for it to flow through you, exactly where Divine Mother has placed you. And Divine Mother is so near and so dear and so ready to make her presence known in our life. She wants us to know her. She wants us to be aware of her unconditional love for whoever we are, however we find ourselves, in whatever predicaments we place ourselves in whatever habits we have or failures or whatever. She wants us to know that she is there in all of it, not just when it's good and we're in meditation and our careers are going well and we're giving beautiful classes and feeling very remarkable. No, she's there then, but she's mostly there when we need her, And we need her when our consciousness drops, when we're not up in a high consciousness state, when we're not being high-minded, when the delusion is getting us and we're falling for it. That's when she's there. She will never leave us. That's when she picks us up. That's when she holds us close. And so to know that is self-realization. It's the realization that God is within you at all times. Divine Mother is always there in every part of your body, mind, and soul, that her omnipresence is your omnipresence. That's what self-realization is. Divine Mother holding you close and you knowing it. You feeling secure in that love. You feeling her compassion for your situation. She knows your thoughts. She's in your thoughts. She is your thoughts. So we can't get away from her even if we try. And we can't get away from her even if we think she's not there and we shut her out. Master used to say, he said to a disciple, how can I get in? How can I get in if you shut me out? And so we're the ones that need to do the work. This week was a beautiful week, and it is the season of Divine Mother here in India. And I sent all of you on WhatsApp a beautiful scripture, I guess you'd call it, or words of Divine Mother. And I've talked about this before, but I'd like to read them this morning. And I want to just set it up a little bit. It was an 8-hour Christmas meditation, and Haridas and I were there, and many of us were there. The temple was full. It had been a very deep meditation, and Swamiji was leading it. And very far into the meditation, he just started speaking. It was very profound and very transforming. And somebody recorded it. And it was Divine Mother speaking through him. And he was in a very deep state of meditation. He was in bliss. And Divine Mother was speaking through him to all of us. Because very often we think, oh, well, Swami can do it. And we're struggling through the 8-hour meditation and trying to make it through the 8 hours. But then all of a sudden, when Swami started speaking and he started saying these words and Divine Mother started speaking through Swami, all of us just felt like, okay, we're okay now. Divine Mother's here. She's in our hearts. She's never left us and she never will. And so it was very transformative. And so it can be transformative for all of us. I want to read these words because they were so meaningful then, and they're meaningful especially during this week because it's a Divine Mother week. So I'm going to read them. And this is Swamiji, but it wasn't Swami speaking, it was Divine Mother speaking. And he just said, Swami's voice, she said, I am very pleased with all of you. I am very pleased with what you are doing. But don't live in littleness, in petty things, little thoughts, little worries, little ambitions. Live for me, for my love. I am your mother through all eternity. Nothing else matters. You were born to commune with me. For no other reason were you born. Live in my consciousness. Everything else is dust. I know all of your thoughts. Your devotion is very pleasing to me. You are my children. You are all very dear to me. Live more in me. Live in my love. Yes, build a community, but in the sense of communion with me, my children. I am always with you. I am just behind your thoughts, just behind your feelings. I am with you every second. Let no other thought come between me and thee. And that is the goal of life, she said we were born to commune with her, and that's up to each one of us to find out how to do that. So Ananda was built on the premise that people who come to Ananda want to find God. And there are many communities all over the world, and there are many intentional communities and built on different ideas. But Ananda was built on the idea that each one of us could find God through the teachings of our gurus, through practicing Kriya Yoga, through deeper guru-given blissful meditations, through our selfless service, through our attitude of giving, through our sharing, through our joy, through our love for one another, through friendship. These are the reasons why we came to Ananda, the ultimate reason is to find Divine Mother within each one of us. And really, truly, truly, everybody is exactly where they are and they're meant to be, and they are experiencing their life exactly how they should. And we don't have a right to judge people, to criticize, to say it should be this way and why aren't they doing that, and shutting our hearts to people. We don't have the right to do that, because our heart shuts down to Divine Mother then, because her admonition to us was to love others, to love God and to share that love. That's what Ananda is about. It's not about getting it perfect. It's not about having the best center. It's not about having the most people. It's not about having the most erudite teachers. It's not about competition, any of that. Ananda means bliss, and bliss is an attribute of Divine Mother. And that's what we came here for. So if we get discouraged, or if we get, restless, or if we get down on ourselves, if we start judging ourselves, if we're not forgiving people who have hurt us, if we're starting to get into that frame of mind of separating ourselves from Divine Mother, just get right back. That's all you have to do. We're a thought away from getting right back and starting over. That's all we have to do. Don't wallow in it and beat yourself and say, oh my God, and compare yourself to others. Never compare yourself to others, because everybody's karma, spiritual karma, is unique and special. And so as many times as you get back on track, that will be the time that Divine Mother will say, good, you were born to commune with me. Get back on track. I love you. I am with you. I am never, ever away from you, ever. So you just get back on track. And when it's like meditating, when your mind wanders, you just gently bring your mind back. You're practicing Hong Sa, gently bring your mind back, Hong Sa. And then you start thinking about dinner, or you start thinking about your job, or the launch that's happening, or the new retreat, or finances. Just gently pull yourself away from the Maya, because that's what it is, and continue your meditation and go deeper and deeper and deeper. Swamiji said that the way to find God is to just go deeper and deeper into meditation. That means we have to be regular in our practice, and that we have to be very disciplined, but also very childlike and very humble. Just open your heart and feel Divine Mother. She's there. She knows every thought we think. So when you're thinking a thought that says, Divine Mother, help me, she's there. There can be no other reality, no other reality. And in the end, we'll all realize it. This feeling of separation and ego, that's all it is. It's just separating ourselves from the source of all love, of all bliss, of all consciousness. This is what we desire. This is why we got onto the spiritual path. I'm not saying Ananda is the only spiritual path, but if you have chosen Ananda and Master has come to you through this path, and Swamiji has come to us, and we are sharing this life together, then respect it and honor it and treasure it and hold tight, because this is a path of self-realization. And this is a path that our God-realized Master will take us directly to Divine Mother, directly. He worshiped Divine Mother. Swamiji worshiped Divine Mother. We worship Divine Mother. And especially during this season of Divine Mother, pray to her and open your heart and feel her qualities of kindness and compassion and love. This is what the world needs now. Not perfection on the material plane, not bigger bank accounts, not more security in this material world. What we are sharing are gifts that will take people to perfect love, to their goal. As Swamiji said in that talk, everybody has the same goal. And when we are strong in ourselves with this love, then others will be able to be strong in themselves also, right where God has placed you. So I wanted to close by listening to a beautiful song. And this is a song that Swamiji wrote. It's called Love is a Magician. And this song was written when Swamiji was going through a very, very difficult time in his life and really just coming out at the end of it. And this was the result of tapasya. This was the result of working through karma, taking on other people's karma, really giving himself into the pain of this world so that he could help people. And at the end of it, he wrote this song and he sang this song at the village, and he could barely get through the words because they were so beautiful and it was so meaningful to him. And Divine Mother just poured through him. So God bless you all during this week, and may you feel Divine Mother's presence and share her love and her beautiful energy of compassion and kindness to everyone around you. God bless you. And now we'll listen to this song, Love is a Magician.
Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love, all the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam. Only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away.
Okay, now we'll have our Aarti.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai 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 Jai Ram.
Now we'd like to have a blessing. And for those who would like to have a blessing, close your eyes. Feel Divine Mother's love in your heart. Feel her presence. Feel her love and compassion, her kindness. And feel that this blessing is coming from her. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Now let's close with a healing prayer. Call to mind those you know who are in need of healing energy in their bodies, their minds, their souls. Visualize them at the spiritual eye, filled with light, filled with love, filled with bliss. And include souls in need all over the world. Let's pray. Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Thou art in these souls. Manifest thy healing presence in their bodies, in their minds, and in their souls. Go out with joy. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Romaji. Such a beautiful satsang. So beautiful. Such lovely words by Swamiji, and what a beautiful prayer after that.
Yeah, that was Divine Mother.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you all for being here. It's wonderful to see so many faces.
Yeah, it was so apt for the Navratri. So beautiful.
Well, I'm glad you are all together.
You know, this is the last few satsangs we're going to be having in JP Nagar.
Yeah.
And then we are off to the country. So anyway, it's been again a very precious time with all of you here at this center. It's been very, very cherished. But now it's off to the next chapter.
And we'll also, I was thinking it would be nice to have a dedication sometime in November when we're settled, but let's dedicate our center to Divine Mother and dedicate our center to our gurus. so that everybody that comes there can really feel their presence. And the purpose of this new retreat center will be to nurture people in their spiritual lives and let Divine Mother nurture them through us, so that when we come onto the property, maybe don't say, oh, this isn't done, and why isn't that, and how come we don't have this, and oh, where's the food, and who's on registration? Instead of all that, when we come in, we should have a shrine to Divine Mother right at the beginning, and we should stop and just offer ourselves into her light, and then carry that light with us into the retreat. So I was just thinking about that while we were meditating this morning. What a lovely way to honor our Divine Mother. So,
at the Crystal Hermitage in California, there's a chapel there. And so Swami said, before you come down to the Crystal Hermitage, the community center, then spend a little bit of time in the chapel. And again, offer yourself into the light, and then come down to the Hermitage with that consciousness, with that vibration. So what Roma is sharing is very, very important. So as we come into the property, then we want to, again, be instruments for Divine Mother, because there'll be people that will be there. It'll be their first time. And you may be the first one that they meet. And again, to see God in them and to share God is going to be very, very important. So
we're looking forward to it. And thank you, Jagdish, for helping us this morning.
yes,
Perfect job.
yes.
He's back in his village. Jagdish came down and he saw the retreat last week, and now he's back in his village. So we got to have a sighting of Jagdish, which was very special for us to see you in person. So thank you for helping.
I'm blessed to see you after a long time, Romaji, in person.
Yes,
I feel
absolutely.
blessed. The retreat center is really good. New center is really awesome.
Yeah.
We could feel the Divine Mother's vibration. Really nice place. Yeah.
Again. And it's so sweet, because again, our landlords being disciples of Ramana Maharshi and Master meeting him in the mid-30s, it's the gurus working together. Okay, now let's have this part of our family, this great family in this world. Let's let them have some time on this very sanctified property, because again, it has a very, very deep vibration already.
So if anybody wants to come in the next 2 weeks, we have lots to do here at the center. We're getting a lot done. We have a lot in boxes. Yesterday, more and more is getting done, giving away, and it's wonderful to see. Thank you for all of those who have come to help so far. There's been many, and unfortunately, when I make chocolate chip cookies, we tend up eating most of them. So you have to come and help us. You have to come and help us eat the cookies. It's not going to be very good for us to keep eating the cookies.
Oh, goodness.
Hi, Satyajit. Hi, Harish. Hi, everybody.
We have Anurag from Denmark.
Oh, thank you, Prasad. So we love you all, and we look forward to seeing you very soon, and have a wonderful week. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
bless you.
Happy Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Romaji.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.